Hey guys! So in this video, we are going to do I have this requested by one of the people on the Facebook group, so I'm going to do a day in the life tag. So this is going to be about my job at Manager's Operations in Magic Kingdom. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to do a short day in the life of a CP. Just like what a day in the life is like when you're off work. So I'll do that at the end of the video. So let's get right into it. Okay, so the average CP, or the average main entrance operations shift for CPs is like from 10 to midnight, so, or later, depending on if there are extra magic hours. So you would generally wake up at 7 in the morning. That's right, 7. Or earlier, so that you have time to shower, get your costume on, eat, and then make it to your bus stop. Because you leave this early because you're giving yourself time for the bus to break down, for you to miss the bus. And then the bus also does not just go straight from Chatham or Vista or Common straight to West Clock. It goes from Chatham, like that's the only time I ever got on the bus was at Chatham. It'll go from there to like a couple of the other parks, all of the other resorts to pick up and drop off CPs. Then it'll go to West Clock last. So make sure you give yourself, like, you ride that for like an hour and a half. And then once you get to West Clock, you have to wait for a bus to get there to take you from there to Magic Kingdom. So give yourself time because you will need it. I'm so moving on. Once you get from West Clock to Magic Kingdom, you're going to go into the Utilidor, and then you're going to go to whichever side, wherever elevator will get you to. You're going to walk through the Utilidor to whatever elevator will get you to where you need to come up in Magic Kingdom, Backstage. I came up right next to the Lost and Found and City Hall, so once you get there, you have to make sure that you are in full Disney costume and Disney look. So no badges, no Disney ID cards or anything showing, just your name tag and your costume. That's it. You can have a backpack on, but you have to take it off once you get into the break room. So I would walk from there to the break room, and once into the break room, I would clock in, and then you'll be either tasked or given a turnstile. Now, tasked means basically anything but turnstile. And in main entrance, you can either be greeting, you can be on exits, you can be sweeping or cleaning east side or west side, and you can be restocking maps. So those are the 4 things you can be doing. Or you can be on break, but you don't clock in and then go immediately on break. That just doesn't happen. And then if you get a turnstile, you'll be at that turnstile for 3 or 4 hours before you are given a break or tasked. If you work 6 or more hours, you get 2 breaks. If you only work 6 hours, you only get 1 break, and it's 15 minutes. So that's what you need to know about that. Once you're there, you get a turnstile, and you get 2 turnstiles. You don't just get to work 1, you have to work 2. So 1 here, and then 1 here, and you stand in the middle of them, and you control, like, hey, okay, you scan your finger, and it can get a bit stressful, especially during peak season or right in the mornings when it first opens. And then there are separate days just like randomly that everyone decides to go to Magic Kingdom, and we hit capacity, and you have to kind of keep them there and be like, hey, we hit capacity, we can't let any more guests in right now. You have to wait until a couple of them leave the park or whatever. So that's really, so you've done your 3 hours on your turnstile, time to get tasked. You can only get tasked for, I think, an hour total, at a time. So you could be tasked for 30 minutes to sweep the west side, and then the next task you get 30 minutes to restock the maps. And then usually it doesn't take 30 minutes to do either one of those things, so you kind of get a break. You're not supposed to, but I mean, so you do that and you're done. And so next, you're probably going to get another turnstile or two. Or exits. Exits are super fun. Basically, you just say bye to everybody and ask them how their day was, and wish them a magical day outside of Magic Kingdom, and tell them you can't wait to see them again, and hope they come back. So you got to work at 10 o'clock, and now it's 11:45, and someone comes up to you at a turnstile and says, hey, time to bump out. And you're like, I wasn't supposed to clock out until midnight or 1. What's going on? So you take your little slip and say, hey, I didn't think I was supposed to bump out until midnight. And they'll say, hey, there's not a whole bunch of people in the park left. We have enough people working. Just go ahead and bump out early. And in case you didn't know, bump out means clock out. So you go in and you clock out, and you have to make sure you clock out in the break room. You cannot clock out anywhere else in Magic Kingdom because it just won't work. And if you do not clock out, you get a point on your record card. So make sure that you clock out before you leave. You probably, if you're like me, you just wore your costume home. You didn't stop at your the locker room and the utilidor to change or anything because it's so late, and you know that you have to be back at work at 10 o'clock the next day. So which means you're going to have to be getting up at 6:30 or 7. So you're going to want to get home as soon as possible. Well, I got a little surprise for you. You got 2 hours waiting, because once you get out of Magic Kingdom and back on that bus and go to West Clock, you're now at the mercy of the buses. The buses, there's only 2 or 3 running at that time, and they're just picking people up from all over the place and making sure they got everybody. And then if they have enough room on the buses, they'll stop at West Clock. But if not, they'll just go straight to the complexes, and then whenever they get time, they'll go to West Clock to pick you up. So, and there are some people, sometimes they have enough and they'll go to West Clock and drop the people off who worked wherever, and then they drove to West Clock. So they'll drop people off, and then those people will go to their car, and then you can get on the bus and hope that it takes you back to the complexes instead of back around to all the resorts. So you got about 2 hours. You get home. It's like 2 in the morning now, ish. So you get home. It's 2:30, and you're just like, ugh, and you're starving to death. So you cook something, eat, get your pajamas on, and if you shower at night, do your shower at night. And then by that time, it's probably like 3:30 or 4. And then you go to bed, and you have to be up at 6 or 6:30 or 7 to do it all over again. And I know what you're thinking. Geez, Faith, and you liked that? And my answer is simply, of course I did. I loved it. I loved my fellow cast members. They were amazing. They also had to work these 15-hour shifts, so they were trying to do their best to make it enjoyable as well. So it's not as bad as it sounds. Are you lacking sleep? Sure you are. Is there technically 8 hours in between your shifts? Yes. So just get used to the lack of sleep, but you will get days off and you'll get to sleep, and not every shift will be a 15-hour shift. So don't think that that's all it is. And this is just for main entrance. This is not for attractions or merchandising or quick service food and beverage or whatever your role is. These are just the shifts that I got a lot. But it was amazing, and I absolutely loved it. I thoroughly enjoyed my time there. So I definitely recommend if you get the chance to, putting main entrance operations in your top 3 roles. Now that that's the end of that, let's go ahead and get started in the daily life of a Finally, it's your day off. So, do I want to go to the pool? Do I want to sleep? I kind of need to do laundry. kind of need to clean my room. Kind of need to do dishes. I need to go grocery shopping. But I also said I'd hang out with her. And you know, this is going on in the park right now. What on earth am I supposed to do? Simple. Do everything. So there are some things that you can kind of all be doing at once. Usually I would multitask. I'd get all of my dishes and stuff into the dishwasher, get that started, bring my laundry over and get it starting washing, and while all that stuff was going on, I'd either be cleaning my room, or I'd go swimming if I wanted to go swimming. So you've got about an hour to do all of that stuff. Then you get all that stuff done, and there's 3 things done in an hour. Hey, like, you can't complain about that. And then you go back and you're like, okay, so I needed to hang out with her, and I needed to go this is the park, and I need to go grocery shopping. Okay, so while you're hanging out, while you're going, you can go grocery shopping right before you go to the parks. Just go and grab some groceries real quick, bring them back to your apartment complex, drop them off, put them away, whatever. And then go grab your friend that you said you'd hang out with and go do that cool thing in the park that you wanted to do. You've got all day. And odds are if like me, I had 2 days in a row off. So I had Mondays and Tuesdays off. So I could stay out as late as I wanted. And then I had all day the next day. Or if you don't want to do everything in one day, you can break it up. You can do 3 things this day and 3 things this day. It's totally up to you. Just don't stress yourself out. Because, you know, who cares? You always have next week to do whatever. I mean, unless it's your last week there and you're like desperately trying to make sure you see everybody 12 more times before the end of your program. That's just not going to work out. Don't try to do that. Make sure you are preparing ahead of time to make sure that you have time to see everybody before you go home. And basically, that is a day in the life of a CP. You have to go through, you have to start at the beginning. Okay, this is what I need done today. This is how I'm going to do it. Let's get started. You just have to do it, because if you sit down and just like, man, I just have so much stuff that I have to do today, don't know if I'm going to get it all done, you're not going to get anything done. And sorry about the growling. My dog is sitting down here and he really wants to be petted, so, but you just have to make a schedule and stick to it. And just make sure that every once in a while you get a day where you can just go to the parks and hang out with your friends. Don't always make every day off about cleaning or going grocery shopping or whatever. Make sure that you make time for everything. And once you get it down, it'll be so easy. You won't have to worry about it anymore, and you'll just flow. So that is actually it for this video. That is a day in the life of a Magic Kingdom Management Operations cast member, and that is also a day in the life of a regular CP. I hope that this was enjoyable. I hope that this was informative. And, you know, if this wasn't your experience, make a video about your experience. I'd love to see your day in the life videos. So that's it. I will see you guys tomorrow. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do for my vlog for tomorrow, but I'll figure it out, whatever. And I just want to make sure that you guys remember to always have a very magical day. Bye, guys.